Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, the program replays on the cable company services at 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Of course, many of you are watching it on the internet. And once we do the original program at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, you can watch it anytime during the 24 hours and anywhere around the world for that matter. And we like to stress that because you may be on vacation. You want to find out what's going on, or you heard talking about something that you're interested in, and maybe Bobby Dupre has that on his program. So any kind of reasoning. And when you're away from home, it's good to hear the Cajun names, if nothing else. Even though you don't personally know them, you might know someone with that family name, and good possibility that they're related. And we like to call each other cousin in South Louisiana. That's something I've noticed, and I called several of my marriage cousins married into our family, and they're my cousin at that point.
Well, so, yeah, according to my grandmother, I just about everybody I know was my cousin. You know, she could give me the whole rundown. This one was related to that one and that one.
And it's true, and it's particularly in these little small country towns like Plaisance, you know, Leonville, where you're from. Just anyhow, we've got to take care of a couple of good sponsors here right now. Help makes this program available and at the same time free of cost.
That's right. Let's talk about our good friends over at J.B. Sandoz. J.B. Sandoz,
what, only
almost as old as you?
Well,
no, vice versa.
Yeah, twice as old as me. 135 years.
135 years.
Can you
still
imagine
going strong.
That those folks, when they opened, had no idea the legacy they'd leave behind, but and it's still in the Sandoz family.
Yes, it is.
Neil Sandoz is presently the owner.
And at J.B. Sandoz, it's like a big box store in a local environment. You can get everything you need there. You can get galvanized pipe, black pipe, electrical wire. Exactly.
Maybe
exactly. You don't have to buy the big packages of stuff. You can get one screw if you need one screw. You can find exactly what you need at J.B. Sandoz. Fencing, I'm sorry, poultry netting, hardware, cloths, welding wire, barbecue pits, bicycles, kitchenware. You can get more stuff actually at J.B. Sandoz than you can get at the big box hardware stores.
And you might also consider wedding gifts and all, and they'll wrap them up real professionally, and you can, I think they'll deliver them in the city limits of Opelousas.
That's where my wedding registry was way back when. That's where my wedding registry was at J.B. Sandoz.
There you go. So
beautiful wedding
you've been using their facility.
Oh, absolutely. Great.
Good luck to you, Neil.
Absolutely. And let's talk about Mr. Carl over at Carl's Thrifty Way on South Union Street in Opelousas for all your pharmaceutical needs. You can see him down there. Very, very friendly staff, very knowledgeable staff. Carl does compounding. It's, of course, Thrifty Way Pharmacy, so any of your prescription needs you can have filled there. And I saw on their sign you can text in your prescriptions now. I don't know exactly how that works, but they have it on their sign.
Just give them the number. I'll call in and give them the number. And
you text that in?
No, I just call. I could. Now, don't act like I don't text. No, I do text.
No, you do. You respond to me.
Yeah, oh yeah. And if I want to communicate with Kelly and Megan,
you got to learn how to text.
I learned how to text.
That's right. But anyways, Carl's Thrifty Way, go see the gift shop while you're there. And, you know, when you walk in, the first thing you're greeted with is this great smell with all these candles that they have there, and this really nice gift shop with gifts for top name brands. Also. And gifts for any occasion. It's a really, really nice gift shop. See them over there, jewelry, home decor, anything you need over at Carl's Thrifty Way. And we have Targill Butcher and Kitchen Supplies, butchers, supplies, cutlery, kitchen supplies, over on Wartell Avenue in Opelousas. That's going west or east back into town. You can catch it on either side because he's got the whole block there.
I wonder if Ted has a picture of the original building that he started in there. You know, sometimes we overlook those.
I'd like to see an aerial shot of the original building and then an aerial shot of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. It's grown
Ted,
so much.
The whole community is proud of what you do for Acadiana and getting our name out of Opelousas. We are the spice capital of the world because we also have Tony Sashray seasoning.
That's right. That's right.
Friendly competitors. But Ted took, actually, basically they were cutlery, butcher supply, and went from there to today, has so much automation in that place and continuing
Very
to add
impressive operation.
New equipment as we speak.
It's a very impressive operation to see them do the seasoning blends and to package all of this stuff. So yeah, you've got Tony Sashray's in town, but pretty much all the other seasoning comes from Targill. It's pretty much all of it.
Yeah, they do for outsiders.
That's right. That's right. So visit them over at www.targill.com and also go see them locally for your cutlery, your knives, cutting boards, things like that. Targill Butcher Supplies on Wartell and Opelousas.
Before I forget, I went in to bring a check over to Greg Baudelain's Wells Fargo office one day earlier this week, and I dropped the check off, and when I was walking away, I saw a couple, and it looked like a young child, granddaughter. I said, oh, looks like y'all have your granddaughter. You opening up an account, teaching her how to save money at a young age. And they started laughing, and the gentleman got up and introduced himself, Mr. Ray Zarang. I said, well, that kind of comes from around that Leonville, Ornerville area. He said, you got it, Bobby. And I said, oh, you know me? He said, oh, yeah, we watch your program time to time. We try to watch the Bobby Dupre show. And he says, by the way, my wife is Dolphy Ortiga. I know you and Dolphy are good friends. I said, sure am. And anyhow, just breaking the ice. Whenever you get a chance, shake a person's hand. There's something in common with most of your introductions you're going to have.
Well, you see, even right there, I graduated with his daughter. Graduated high school with his daughter, Sherry.
There you go.
So,
getting that world
we're all
smaller
connected.
and smaller.
We're all
You
connected.
Let's see here. I had an interesting story. Actually, two youngsters made full-page stories. And well, 3/4 of this one, but then there's an inside to it. And the science of duck calls. And when you think of duck calls, you kind of thinking of an older person who has been hunting and decides he's going to try to develop. But this story is about a 14-year-old, and I'm speaking of Claude Lahey. And his mama and daddy, of course, are Chip Lahey, and his mama is, I wrote it down. Well, here it is. I'm showing it back. Well, Lacey. Lacey is his mama.
Okay.
Lacey and Chip Lahey, Dr. Lahey in Opelousas, Lafayette, and possibly in Lake Charles. But this is a 14-year-old student at Berkman's Academy, which is part of the Sacred Heart Academy schools.
Right.
In Grand Coteau, 14 years old, as I mentioned, and he was hunting one day, and hunting was slow, and he got to, I guess, looking and examining this duck call, and he said to himself, I think I can make one of those. And he came back and has sold quite a number already, but he wants to stay on a small scale. Can you imagine a 14-year-old staying on a small scale? Because he likes to manufacture them, would be a word, I guess, proper word, build them to the specifications of what the hunter likes. So anyhow, very interesting story about a young man, and of course he'd like to go to medical school and become an eye specialist like his daddy. Chip Lahey, by the way, from Leonville himself, just has come up with so many ideas and inventions of the cure of cataracts and other eye diseases. He just has that, I guess, desire, kind of like this young boy taking a piece of plastic and making a duck call out of it. You've got to be able to see it, the inside, the outside. I mean, it's a lot more to it.
Have it all up there to begin with.
So anyhow, Chuck and Lacey, Chip and Lacey, y'all can certainly be proud of your young man, and I know all of us are. And the other story is about, this is the
That's the other part of that story.
Other part of the story was.
He carves it on a lathe.
Yep, a page and a half of the article about the creation of these duck calls. The other one is also a Leonville area teen.
Leonville's all in the news today.
Yes, sir. Leonville teens ticket to college. And of course, that kind of gets you a ticket to college. What is a ticket to college? Well, it's a scholarship. And this is for a young lady, Mia Manzanares. And she and her father and mama live in the Leonville area. I've heard of Pancho Manzanares for many, many years. I know I'm not saying it exactly right. Please excuse me. And let's see, I have the mama's name. We did good on all of our other notes. Anyhow, she won a full scholarship. She's won state contests ever since she's very, very young. She's now a senior in school at Opelousas Catholic, and will be going to the Cabos College of the state of Louisiana, McNeese State College in Lake Charles. They bring in, I guess they secure athletes with cowboy experience from throughout the nation. And Mr. Daniel Lyons says he's watched her since she was very, very young, and he could tell she had the determination and the skill and the strength it takes to handle these 1,200-pound horses running wide open and then having to stop and rope and tie a goat.
There's a lot of skill in that.
One of her favorite techniques is the goat tying contest. And I think I wrote Mama. Y'all just excuse me here.
I know they're part of the Lalonde family down in Leonville.
Oh, here they are on the back page. The daughter of Catherine and Juan Pancho Manzanares. And I met Catherine and Mia over at Wes Walker's Grease Lightning, which means fast oil changes.
Oil changes, right.
And very nice people.
Good people.
I felt
I've been to Pancho's house when I was younger.
I felt like I knew him just talking to him for a few minutes. Good luck to you, Mia. And all the young ones who, and I'm going to talk about a young man later. We have a picture of a young man. Where are we going to start? Let's do a few pictures while we can.
Sure, we can do that.
One picture I showed last week was a picture with Carolyn Groner and Jan Swift. Carolyn Groner's husband, David Groner, has merged with a title company. They live, Carolyn and David Groner, they live in New Iberia, and they merged with the Tootin, T-U-T-O-N, title company in Lafayette. And it's so strange, I had talked to them on, that was what, last Tuesday night over at Steve and Laurie Dupuis, when they held a big political gathering. And the next day, I read about David's firm merging.
That's usually how it works.
And Jan Swift, I couldn't place her, but then I remembered she is the director of Upper Lafayette.
Upper Lafayette Economic Development District.
Right. You do some filming for them.
I sure do.
And you said that you saw her the day after.
Talked to her yesterday, actually.
Yeah. And she
told me that she met you.
Yeah, right. And Jan, I apologize. I remember meeting you now. And that was at the subdivision that Larry Leger had developed on Veterinarian Drive in Carencro. Beautiful facility. And had an open house, and I was invited to go, and I went from house to house. Today I'm told that it's just about completely filled. But anyhow, Jan was directing all of this.
Sure.
And I noticed that on the other side of the business card,
Yes.
she's a candidate for state representative.
District 45.
District 45. I'm not sure what that encompasses, if it's an incumbent or not, whatever. Jan has some very good skills that can be brought to Baton Rouge, and that's organizational skills.
Yep.
You have to organize yourself so that you can return these calls to the constituents, attend all these functions you have
Sure.
to, and that's one of her strong fortes. I'm not putting in a plug for you. I'm just saying some good
Well, it's
points.
still early
about
for that right now.
Well, it's never too early.
No, you're right.
But anyhow, Jan certainly could do a good job if that's what the people want. And we've already passed our first quarter, 15 minutes. But anyhow, when you're having fun,
That's right.
Stay tuned. 1 minute. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick,
Yeah.
Matt LeBlanc. Forgot you won't get paid again. That $0 that you make
telling you,
here,
huh?
You're gonna miss it again. But that's
I'm
okay.
only gonna get half of that.
Half of that zero. There you go. That's taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we have a couple of good sponsors you'd like to talk about.
Sure. Let's talk about LHC Group, the Louisiana Healthcare Group, formed over a cup of coffee in, where you said that, Palmetto?
Palmetto, Louisiana.
That's right. That's right. Well, their
And
motto
look
is
where they are now.
Just about worldwide,
All
United
throughout the
States wide
South.
for
Yep,
sure. They
yep.
probably are, have some properties in other countries, who knows. But all your healthcare needs, hospice, palliative care is, they just opened up a new hospice office, Louisiana Hospice and Palliative Care in Opelousas on Heather Drive. Very beautiful facility. Also, it's right next to the Health and Wellness Center, which is also their property. And you said you'd never been, but you were there when they turned the first shovel.
Yep, because I had
Yeah.
bought the first share
right.
of the operation.
Well, I'll tell you from personal experience, beautiful place, great facility. It's a great place for the kids. Check in the memberships there. It's a really good family opportunity to get you know
Really?
stay healthy as a family.
I need to go in there and
Absolutely.
look. I bet you they'd turn me around if I went over there.
Sure would.
And it's
Go
right by my house. I could walk there.
Yeah,
and
you
get some
could.
exercise to get there.
You and Sherman could go in the mornings. You could run with Sherman.
Oh man, Sherman Stanford, that guy when he takes off, he doesn't know where he's going, but he
Sherman
knows he
must
can make
run
it back.
20 miles a day.
But he knows he can make it back.
I just that is amazing, and I'm sure y'all know what we're talking about.
And when he's not running, he's now walking and reading a book.
And he doesn't miss a day. He doesn't miss a
But
day.
look at
I've seen
him,
him
he's
out there
like
in the
that. I
rain.
mean,
Oh,
just
yeah.
muscle.
Oh, yeah. It's
Muscle.
unbelievable. So, yeah, unless you're Sherman, then
And
you
Sherman's
need
a
to
good
go to Louisiana
advertiser on
Healthcare
our
Group.
station here too.
Oh,
You've
absolutely.
Made
Sherman-
ads for him for years.
I sure have.
Since we opened the TV station, if I recall
He
correctly,
sure has.
he's had ads ever since.
Sure has. And a
Does them himself.
very good conversation to have with Sherman too. It's not a lull. He's very well spoken, and he keeps you interested.
Well,
so
good.
and
That's
tie
been
that
my
back in.
experience
If
with him
you're
also.
if you're not Sherman, I mean if you're anybody but Sherman, then you need to go to Louisiana Healthcare facility, the Health and Wellness Center. There, we'll leave Sherman out of that because he obviously stays fit enough running all over town. But go see him, lhcgroup.com. Check him out online. And Dixie Storage over in Port Barre, Opelousas, and Washington. Port Barre, of course, the main location there with a huge storage facility there. I think I'd read that it's all combined over 1 million square feet of storage. These guys just know how to do storage, and they know how to do it right. Very well lit, very well secured. There's rail spur access. Go check out the facility, small, big, large, commercial, whatever you need. Store anything you need over at Dixie Storage. Check them out online at www.dixiestorage.com.
I want to talk a little bit about boxing. Louisiana State boxing title fights are going to take place Saturday night, this Saturday night, April 11th, showtime, 7 p.m. And that's going to be taking place at Cypress Bayou Casino Hotel. Beautiful hotel that now adjoins the casino, so it makes it real convenient for you. You had a couple of beers or something, you don't have to endanger your life or someone else's life. You're right in the facility, you walk from one to the other. and they have all kind of big shows coming up. But the fights are this weekend, and they're going to be at least 5 have already been matched up, and a lot of times they pick up 1 or 2 more. So you'll certainly get your dollar's worth. And then, of course, the big fight coming up on television, pay-per-view.
I'm going to your house to watch that?
That would be a good idea. New estimates show that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s payoff for fighting Manny Pacquiao could easily be $180 million.
Ow!
He keeps making this kind of money like this. He could be one of the first, certainly the first boxing billionaire, but one of the first athletes,
yeah.
$1 billion. I think maybe Tiger Woods got there.
I think so.
I think he did. Then he's in a slump now. He's looking perky for the Masters, and of course that would get him back. He's won, I think, 5 times already, and if he could win this, then he would be back again.
He'd be back on top.
He's been hurt ever since that incident happened where he got hit with a club. Accidentally got hit with a club one night.
Well, he's just
early
had
one morning.
some bad luck here and there.
We're not going there.
No.
Bobby.
All right. So magic question: who's you pick?
Oh, I've got to go with money. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
You're gonna go with Mayweather?
Yeah, and
I don't know. I'm a Pacquiao guy.
Pacquiao will only make 180 million. No, 120 million.
120. Pacquiao's he's only getting 120 on that.
Yeah.
Well, Mayweather's getting 180.
The big draw is
Mayweather. I know
Mayweather.
that.
Because Mayweather is like Ali was. You either hate him or you love him.
Yeah, you're right. And
a lot of people go to see the fight. They buy the fight on pay-per-view.
Well,
this is pay-per-view,
kind of like
by
Hopkins.
the way.
Same kind of thing. You know,
like
kind of like Bernard and B-Hop.
Yeah,
very similar thing. And Pacquiao, everybody just loves Pacquiao. He's just a good guy. And
Congressman.
Congressman, yeah, and he does not stop coming at you. I don't know. That's going to be a tight fight. That's going to be a
pretty
good
girls
fight.
On your.
Well, that's my screensaver's on right now on my computer.
That's
my family.
Oh, how about
old
that?
Old vacation pictures that are up there.
How you do all that pretty thing like that? You just got to have the nice
does it
products.
for me. That's right.
No, I don't know those. That's natural looking pictures there. You know, when I take pictures, and as you all know, I take quite a few. I've got quite a few to show.
Yeah.
The second half is going to be basically stories leading off of my pictures, because I love to take the pictures, and everybody wants to know how they come out. And I have one word I use for everybody: natural. That's all the camera can do.
That's right.
And I try to
camera
get you
sees what you see.
What I think will be the best view, the best background to bring out the whole story of the picture.
But you get what's important. Who's in the picture.
That's right.
That's what's important.
One facet of talking about Miller Chavis' death last week, it was short. I did mention that he was an outstanding athlete at OHS. What I didn't realize is that he had actually begun being a part of Opelousas High School prior to 1969 integration of the schools in St. Landry Parish. He had gone there about 2 years prior to that, and the article here says, speaking from his coach, who was his track coach, Leon Johnson, who is not here anymore in the Opelousas area, went to DeRidder maybe or someplace, but went on to win some state championships there. And of course, Miller Chavis and this group of athletes also won state, if my memory serves me correct. But they have a picture, a whole picture of, I guess, close to 20.
Oh, yeah.
More than 20.
It's almost 30 or so.
30 or so. And there's one black athlete in it, and it was Miller Chavis. And the athletes took him in. They didn't worry about color. We're very fortunate in Opelousas area.
Sure.
I'm going to speak for Opelousas because that's where I'm basically. I know in Plaisance it was integrated. I didn't know that there was such a thing as we're not supposed to be with this group or that group. We with everybody over there. And I carried that into Opelousas, and it's worked well for me.
Absolutely. Well, before you move on, let me make this announcement right here. Opelousas Catholic School is going to be hosting a free concert, and it's the story by Christopher Duffley on Friday, April 10th. That's tomorrow.
Yep. Yep, that's right.
Yep, that's tomorrow.
This show
It's
is
going to be
coming on Thursday.
Right,
That's
so if you're watching this on Sunday, you already missed it. But if you're watching this on Thursday, go see this tomorrow. It's going to be at Our Lady Queen of Angels Church, and it's going to be at 6 p.m. Christopher is a blind and autistic singer and multi-instrumentalist. He travels the country sharing God's vision through his inspirational song and story. So Opelousas Catholic is inviting you, and inviting you to invite friends to come out and join the performance. It's a free concert. 6 p.m. Lady
you
Queen
don't
of
get
Angels.
that every
Nope,
day. And
you
this,
don't.
boy, this sounds like a very interesting individual who has bettered himself. And of course, boxing on amateur scale will be taking place in New Iberia. It's going to be presented by the New Iberia Boxing Club, and that's going to be April 18th. That's next Saturday, not this Saturday coming, but next Saturday. This fight starts at 6 p.m. There's going to be approximately 30 bouts is what they're planning.
Wow.
And they're going to be pre-matched, so they should develop. And it's going to be held in the New Iberia Senior High School. $10 for adults, $5 for 12 and under. And I've been assured...
$10 to see 30 fights. That's pretty good.
Yep, I've been assured that these are going to be taking place and going to be a lot of fun. And that's next week. So I've got a chance there, maybe come back next week and remind you again about it.
We got about, I'm just letting you know, we got about 2 minutes left.
Okay,
so.
Swamp Pop startup sizzled for First Cousins. And when you think of Swamp Pop around here, you think about Swamp Pop music. But this is Swamp Pop, the cold drink, the pop. Well, we used to call it, give me a pop. Yep. What flavor you want? RC Cola or Coke? And then they came up with Squirt out of Sunset, Louisiana. And that building, by the way, is still in use today.
Well, you know, they still ask you that at a drive-thru. If you go through a drive-thru and you say, I want a Coke, they say, what flavor?
Yeah, well, diet.
Yep.
They got zero, they got the regular, they've got the diet, and they got the diet caffeine.
That's right.
What flavor is correct? Anyhow, these two young guys, John Peterson and Colin Cormier, are co-owners, and it appears that they have gotten into a few chains already, and their drinks are starting to sell one bottle at a time.
It's a great name.
Motto.
Great name, and that's a great way to look at it. One bottle at a time. You make one sale at a time.
Y'all want us to say anything else? You got some news to give me? It sounds like you could use our help, and we could use our ability to help you.
Absolutely.
Get better known.
Give us a call, Swamp Pop.
Our cousins here and there. Now you know you one of our cousins in a.
Well, we talked about that earlier. How we're all cousins in
that's
this
correct.
area.
Dennis Codori is the mayor of Montreal, and of course they were here recently, a week or so ago, touring Cajun country, which has pockets of French, like moi je peux parler français, un petit peu, je comprends tout quelque chose joliment bien, et ça me fait bon quand je peux parler avec quelqu'un qui peut parler. And then there was a young lady, Anne Hidalgo. Listen to that. When I saw that Anne Hidalgo, well, I said, this local girl. No. She's the mayor of Paris.
Wow.
France. You hear me? Paris, La Paris, Hidalgo, Anne Hidalgo. And Hidalgo, of course, is Spanish.
It's a Spanish name.
Spanish name. My friends, the Hidalgos in the Opelousas area, many of them.
Yep.
Anyhow, I understand that this meeting went over real well, and there was one city, one community represented by the United States at this huge worldwide French meeting, and that was Acadiana, Lafayette, and Acadiana. Was the only area in the
celebrated
country.
all over the world.
All over the world. So anyhow, another feather in their cap. Okay, we're out of it already?
Yeah, we're out of it.
Okay,
That's
I'm
okay.
borrowing time on the next 30 minutes.
We've got some pictures to talk about on the next one.
That's correct. Very interesting. 1 minute, please. Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr. Matt LeBlanc. And everybody wants to know where you're from. Tell them where you're from, Matt.
Where I'm from Paconier. If you don't know where Paconier is a suburb of Platin, which is a suburb. No, I'm sorry. Platin is a suburb of Paconier, and I'm in a suburb of that. So
okay.
yeah, we got about 6-7 houses down there.
Near Leonville.
Yeah, down
about
that
halfway
area.
between Leonville and Ornerville,
Yeah,
actually.
not far from the Hadley Castile Memorial Highway.
That's correct. They sure did name that. That's where Hadley was
Yeah,
born
and Hadley
and
talked
raised.
about that a lot too, Paconier, in a lot of his
Now,
storytelling.
he could speak that French real
Yes, he
good.
could.
He had
Yes, he
kept
could.
up the practice, which, hate to say, not many of my friends right now. Ramp speaks a little French. Riley Fontenot speaks a little French. And I'm sure there's some others that I meet around the Palace Cafe, and we try to come up with a few words whenever we meet up. But anyhow, we need to get on with some sponsors real quick.
Sure, let's talk about...
Homestead?
Well, actually, I was going to go. I had that picture queued up for the Quarters Casino. We'll go to them next.
Okay.
Quarters Casino over on the north side of Opelousas, and I believe you visited them this weekend.
I sure did, and fueled up my vehicle, going all the way over to Bourdillonville. And the young lady in the back of the counter had a beautiful smile. I said, "You mind if I take your picture for my program?" Not at all. So I ran out and got my camera and took the picture, and look at that smile. And she was by herself, which is very unusual. They're usually at least 2 back there,
Well,
and a lot of times they take 3.
This was Sunday, you said?
No, this was Saturday.
Saturday? Well,
Saturday afternoon.
yeah, it's kind of an off weekend with the
Must
holiday
have
and
been
everything.
with the holiday and all, but they're always busy over there, and they've got that good Chevron fuel. They've got the casino that operates and pays off real good, is what I understand.
That's what I hear too.
And they've got a Mexican, a real, authentic
Mexican. El Pico de Gallo.
You better believe it. And of course, the Chevron fuel, both in the front for the vehicles, and it has diesel. And then the big trucks, the big 18-wheelers on the backside, and it's all well lit and got air availability at each one of the fueling stations on the backside for the truckers.
Very, very nice facility. It's a travel plaza, so everything you need there, food, groceries to a certain extent, restaurants and slot machines. That's everything you need. Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza, just north of Opelousas. And our good friends over at St. Landry Homestead, we can get to that one now. And they're located in Opelousas and Eunice and Port Barry. And of course, you can visit them online at www.stlandryhomestead.com. Lots of improvements being made there. New drive-throughs, new, I think they have the visual.
Eunice, they moved out of the location they had been in since they went to Eunice years ago. And now they're on the east end of the city. Kind of a banking situation, kind of maybe the only banking facility at that end, so that should do real well. And it's a newer facility that a bank that left that area just was available.
Right.
And I'm sure they got it at the right price.
So for all your banking needs,
they didn't call me for financing,
loans,
so they must have paid
no,
for it.
I'm sure they're okay. For all your banking needs, go see them at St. Landry Homestead, www.stlandryhomestead.com, Opelousas, Eunice, and Port Barry. All right.
Okay, and let's see about maybe a couple of pictures here.
Sure. Let's start off. Let me scroll over to those. And you got a picture here.
I got a picture here of the chief of police in Mansoura, Louisiana. Vicki was doing some paperwork at that office, and she got to talking with Miss Ursula. That's the lady on the right. And the chief on the left is Chief Johnson. And Ursula and Vicki were talking, and Ursula says, the chief and I attended a seminar, a little convention, if you want to call it that, in Opelousas a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And she said, we really had a beautiful evening. One of the afternoons, we went to a crawfish ball, and this person had a beautiful backyard, had 2 ponds, had waterfalls, just birds chirping and flowers
I wonder
blooming.
what he's talking about.
And Vicky says, well, this, to herself, she says, this sounds more and more like Bobby's backyard.
That's right.
And she said, did they also have a big room where you gathered? Yeah, there was a room for us to sit and eat and all. And she said, well, that's my boyfriend's house there. So you hear me saying quite often, God's been good to this little boy from Plaisance. And that just who would have thought that this lady would recount this story 2 or 3 years ago. But we had a packed backyard and we had ideal weather. I guess I had prayed that the weather would be good. Yeah, you know that, Bobby. And it was, and we had fun, and this lady is still telling stories about it. So always do the right thing whenever you possibly can.
Well, like I said earlier, we're all connected, and of course, Mansoura famous for the cochon de lait, and also the
my busted leg is
yeah.
that when I was a young man, I went to the cochon de lait, and when I got home, I had gone on my big interstate when they first came out. That was back in '75 they came out. And was probably between there and '78, something like that. Came back, I got on my dirt bike and I was gonna go act smart and go over a hill and because the city park was my backyard. And I was living on Berto. And when I went over the hill, I must have gone too fast. I panicked, I jumped off and I popped my knee. And anyhow, I remember the Mansoura cochon de lait very well.
Oh, yeah.
I think they hold it every other year or something.
I'm not sure. I know I used to do
it's
sound
every
for them
year.
when we would go. It's pretty something to see. It's a huge pig cook.
It is. It is.
All right, let's move on to the next picture right here. And I think these are some pictures that Vicky sent in. And we've got...
And this is the new boat that is captained by Bo the puppy and Miss Vicky right here. And that's the front of the, well, our condos are just to the back of the, not in the back, the front of this.
There's the captain.
And there's the captain of the boat right there, Captain Bo. And then the next picture ought to be Jimmy. And the real captain and the guy that can fix about anything that ever breaks at my place. And this is Jace, this is Vicky's son, and that was a bass he had just caught.
Nice bass.
Yep, right there in Horseshoe Lake in her front door.
Wow.
And this is a memoriam of Donald Dogay. It doesn't look like it was, his death took place 3 years ago, April the 5th, 2012. Good man.
We have another one here.
And then this is an accident that took place, and I'm sure most of you have heard about it. It was a tragic accident. He was riding with his girlfriend, fiance, which I've met both of them and knew Mr. Al Broussard well, I felt. I think if you met him one time, you felt that you knew him well. He was town councilman for maybe 24 years, if I recall the obituaries right. He was in his 3rd term as mayor of Lauraville. And there's some investigation going on about a youngster that was in the other vehicle. And he grabbed the steering wheel and turned the vehicle right into Miss Savoy's, I think her name was, her family name was Savoy, and Mr. Al's car. And Mr. Al apparently was killed on at the scene of the accident. And the other 3, there were 2 in the other vehicle. And Miss Savoy was still in the hospital, as far as I knew, as of early yesterday morning. I don't know if she was able to go to the funeral or not, but she was in pretty serious condition. A very unnecessary accident, unnecessary. They're investigating to possibly make charges against this youngster that caused this accident. Okay, let's get some more pictures.
And we have another obituary here.
Yes, sir. And that is Mr. Louis Labriviere III. And of course, while I didn't know him, I know his son Louis. Louis Labriviere, who practices law in Opelousas and very closely known to all of the kids going to, then the parents over at Opelousas Catholic. And of course, he's well known. He specializes in property sales and acquisitions. primarily, is what I understand.
That's right.
Our deepest sympathies to the LaBruyere family, and of course Louis, who I know personally. And this is Miss Rosalie Bordelon Nicholson, and she died a few days ago, and I offered my deepest sympathies to one of her children, and I'm speaking of Jim Nicholson, my CPA and part owner of John S. Dowling Company, CPA firm in Opelousas for many years. Our deepest sympathies. And Catherine Moore Whitkey. And I mentioned the Moore because her daddy, Mr. Warren, had Ned's Bar for many, many years, operated it. I'd say he dressed up in slack pants and shirts every day to go to work. And during boxing season, he was sitting on the front row. He had reserved seats on the front row, and he would smoke cigars back then. Now, you know you can't
do that anymore.
Couldn't do that anymore.
No.
But of course, I knew Catherine just a couple of years younger, but her husband, Billy, who passed away a couple of years ago, Billy and I commuted to SLI together.
Yeah.
Which became USL, and then now it's UL. So I just let y'all know I did go to college. SLI was not a USL, according to Jimmy Patterson Insurance out of Bossier City. He called USL the University of Slow Learners.
Yeah,
and
I heard that one.
I said, Jimmy, get off of that. He said, well, it's true, Bobby. Just look at yourself.
Oh,
but you took it with him, and you laughed about it. He was that type of guy. But anyhow, our deepest sympathies to the Whitkin. She is survived, of course, by a daughter and son-in-law and grandkids. Okay. And this is Miss Gertrude, better known as Miss Gertie Hinckley, who worked at the clerk of court's office for umpteen lots of years. And I got to know her pretty well through a purchase of some land. I bought some property directly in front of the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Washington, Louisiana, and donated it to the church. And that's who I purchased that land from, Miss Hinckley. And of course, she was a parishioner who I saw sort of recently, if my memory serves me correctly. So anyhow, our deepest sympathies to her brother, Robert, who is where I purchased my beautiful Hereford bull. He has some beautiful cattle. And this was Tuesday night, getting back from the little chapel service at Evangeline Downs on the backside. And I thought I'd take a picture a little bit different, just right before complete sunset. And then you're going to show.
You got a sunset.
Got a sunset driving in. I stopped at the driveway and got that. And when it gets to this point here, it goes down quick, quick, quick.
Sure does. It sure does. Beautiful sunset.
You got to be ready. And this gentleman here, I was going to make a call, real friendly. He attends all the chapel services. I kidded him. I said, where'd you run that guy down to get that? I said, it looks like a clown's outfit. He said, Mr. Bobby, I bought that at the outlet center. What they call it in Opelousas?
At Burke's?
No, it's you donate the.
There's a couple of them though.
Well, the big one, been around for years and years.
Yeah, the one right where the old AutoZone was.
That's correct. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the name.
Yeah. Anyhow, he's from New Orleans, but he's been in the Opelousas area a number of years, and he says, by the way, I watch your programs and I take you up on your suggestions of going to eat at the restaurants you speak about. I said, really? Well, that's very interesting. I said, I'm going to ask you to consider going to Brisket Basket on North Court Street or Market Street. I think it's Market. And I said, it's Wilbert Kennerson, retired fireman. I said, he's done a lot of work. Oh, he says he's got one of the rooms decorated at LSU, one for Southern, one for the Saints, and one for UL.
There you go.
I said, Lord knows you remember all the names of the room. He says, I've been there 4 times because you recommended it a couple of months ago, right when they were opening. And
we talked about them last week,
and
too.
he says the barbecue brisket is delicious.
Well, I'm going to have to go check that out myself.
And so if you would, do me a favor. We all eat out in our community. Go there and spend a few dollars with the man. He's really trying hard. He's got his family pitching in to help. and he's put his life savings. He retired from the fire department in Opelousas. He's an Opelousas native, Wilbert Kennison, and I'm sincere. I'm asking you to consider going there. Chief of Police D.T. Thompson asked me to go and look at his office. I said, I'll go look at the office if you'll agree to come with me.
There you go.
Briskets and basket. I said,
that's how it works.
We're going to go there. And he said, well, I've been already. What, another break time?
Yeah, another break time.
Okay,
yeah.
well, good. Right, just right time. Anyhow, thanks so much. I'm going to get your name next Tuesday at the church services. Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. Boy, when you're having fun, time flies. But anyhow, my sidekick, Matt LeBlanc, he'll give you real quickly a couple more of our good sponsors. In fact, that would be the last two of our good sponsors.
The last two of our good sponsors are our good friends over at Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas and Simsport. That's 2 locations in Opelousas and Simsport. And did you know that April is National Grilled Cheese Month?
I love a grilled cheese sandwich.
I do too.
I do.
Some of the simpler things in life, but
yes,
you know,
I love it.
And of course, you get your bread and your cheese and your butter and all you need to make your grilled cheese sandwiches over at Piggly Wiggly.
Some milk and some orange juice, and you go into a good healthy diet.
Absolutely, but that's kind of neat to know, and they got that posted right there on their website. So go to thepig.com.
Pig is right there.
Oh yeah,
got his bags loaded up.
Great, a lot of good specials. For Piggly Wiggly, right now, Boston butt pork steaks, $1.49 a pound. Drumsticks, fryer thighs or drumsticks, 88 cents a pound. You can't beat those prices.
Beat that price.
That is great. So go see them at Piggly Wiggly. Go to thepig.com as the web address, and you can see all of the specials. Shop there. I do. It's worth it. Steamboat Warehouse Restaurant. Now you were over there recently, weren't you?
I was there last Thursday night. And possibly Wednesday, but no, it was Wednesday night. I'm sorry, Wednesday night. And they had a young waiter that was waiting on me. And once he had a chance to bring the water and the utensils, I got to talking with him. And his name, of course, is Blaine Smith. And I said, who's your daddy? You know, that's the typical Cajun question. Who's your daddy? He says, Mark Smith. I said, I know your daddy. And he says, yeah, Daddy's talked about you, knowing you. And I kept asking him, what, you know, is he in college? He said, yes, I am. And I said, what are you studying? And he's studying engineering. And I said, that's a good subject. There's always opportunities out there.
Sure is.
And I said, you do a good job of servicing our table here. You're a good waiter. And I said, where'd you go to high school? He says, Opelousas High. I said, really? I said, did you get any of those credits that some of the kids get over there? He said, yeah. He said, you familiar with that? I said, yeah. He says, I had 16 college credit hours when I entered UL as a freshman. And I said, well, that's a whole semester of hours. He said, it sure is. I said, you ever hear of the Bobby Dupre Scholarship? And he puts his head down. He says, I just realized who had given me that scholarship. He was one of my
your recipients.
One of my recipients of the scholarship. And that made me take a picture with him. And of course, in the background is Chef
Chef Jason Hugay
receiving an award.
Himself getting an award.
And so I had a great conversation. Saw a lot of friends there that night. Business is good, and we thank all of our sponsors for continuing to stay with us and getting this message out to our friends.
Go to see them at Steamboat Warehouse. You will not regret it. The food is incredible.
Okay, we have real quick.
A couple
got
more
a lot
pictures
of
you want to talk about?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get through queuing all this up for you. All right, we're going to start back up here. I think this is somewhere you went last Friday, and here we go.
No, this is Tuesday night right here.
Tuesday.
That's the chapel service. After the service is over, the service is about 20 to 30 minutes. And after it, there's a good supper furnished. Last night was good, delicious hot dogs. I love a good hot dog.
I like a good hot dog,
And got to talking to Renell. Put the picture back up there, please.
Okay.
Yes. And the white shirt is Renell James. Sam, I'm sorry. And then his brother on the right is James Sam, the infamous jockey. He traveled all over the country riding just one horse. They'd fly him into different tracks, particular quarter horses. He was something else, and then he came down with kidney problems, was on dialysis for years, and finally got a kidney transplant. And he's got that smile that you see right there. Never let that disease, sickness bother him. And Renell, thanks for telling me that you're a regular viewer also.
All right.
And from the Briggs pictures that we're going to show you in a minute, went over to the Bi-State Fishing Rodeo, our final meeting of the 18 members of our side. We'll be meeting up in the middle of May over at Royal Palms in, what's the town there?
The Cajun Palms, you said?
Cajun Palms, yeah.
That's Brobridge, huh?
Henderson? Well, no, Henderson exit. And of course, that's Donnie and Jenny and, Kevin.
Yep, Kevin. I see Kevin on the right up there.
Yep.
Ooh,
And then the sheriff is on the right. The blue shirt is Charlie. And the standing in the black shirt is Gary, and the sheriff is on the right in the white shirt. On the left, across from the sheriff, is Frankie Elder. And by the way, Frankie is the new exalted ruler of the Opelousas Elks Lodge 1048. Frank is on the left side of the view right there with the glasses. And on the right, must be pointing to get another beer. I'm kidding. Harold Guidry from Lafayette, and Charlie and Terry Fontenot, both living now in the Lafayette area, but still participating in local events.
Pretty area back there.
Oh, pretty Cops and Kids area.
Right there in Washington.
And I think that takes care of everybody there.
And we're gonna go some pictures. There's Frankie.
Yep.
And Ray.
We didn't have Ray.
Yeah,
That's
you didn't
right.
talk about Ray. I'm sure. Was Ray doing the cooking?
No.
Or was he enjoying it?
He didn't get the credit.
He didn't get the credit.
David Mesh got the credit, but
I see David standing right behind Ray
in
right
the back.
there.
That's correct. I hadn't talked about him, but
let Ray go somewhere and eat sometime and not have to cook.
Not have to cook. And then now, this was an event I went to just prior to going Cops and Kids and the Bi-State Fishing Rodeo meeting. This is at the lovely new home of Becky and Briggs, right off of Duchamp Road, right around the corner from where I live. And they
I'm gonna go back. That's Bill Jarrell.
That was Billy Jarrell right here, the bishop's brother. That's how we describe him now. And the next picture is works with the Daily World. He's a reporter, and he's Chad Washington. Nice young man. Welcome to the Opelousas area, Chad.
And I see Wayne back there on the right-hand side.
Wayne's on the right. And Manny Veltin on the left, and Jim Lopez in the center, and our congressman, who I had never met before. Look, that smile. He's got a beautiful smile. They say he's very, very nice. I wasn't able to stay too long for him to talk, but very nice guy, Congressman Abraham.
There is another shot of the same people there.
And that's Byron. And Becky on left and on the right, and the lady in the middle. I didn't catch her name. I'm sorry, young lady. But this is Michelle Dupre on the left. The young man is Blair's son, if I'm not mistaken, and then Stan Muller on the right. In the blue shirt, tucked in, is Blair, next to the brick wall. And this is Robert Tomlinson and some of the friends that were just getting there. And we're in a hurry, guys.
Yeah, we're just kind of going through them.
Pineville man killed by deputy was a Louisiana guardsman.
Oh, I thought you were taking a picture of the Happy Easter on there.
Well,
you got the headline in there too.
That's really what I was doing. Yeah.
This is the coin.
This is the coin, the Kisatchie coin, and I'm got to find out if one of the banks in town could get me a whole bunch of them. I'd like to send one to each of the members who participated in the squirrel extravaganza. I'm sure that Jimmy Prados has the names and addresses to all those members, and I'd love to send each one, and hopefully they'd keep them in some safe place and
It's going to be a collector's coin with the Kisatchie National Forest emblem on it. Is it going to be a silver coin or gold coin, or do you know?
Silver coin.
Okay.
Silver coin.
Nice. And then, oh, you almost been to
that's
Boardwalk.
Easter Sunday. We're in Bourdalouville, and this young girl is Miss Jenna, and she's pocketing eggs with her daddy, Jace, and then they put a hat on me. It was raining over there. I'm telling you.
You look like Paddington Bear.
Kind of cold too. You see, I got that long sleeve kind of thick shirt on.
Well, you far up north right there in Bourdalouville.
Oh yeah, I'm getting up there.
It's way cold up there.
Central Louisiana. And there's the little family, Jason, Donna, and little Jenna. And there's Jenna parking with her granny, Miss Vic.
That's what she calls her, Granny.
Granny. And we had fun parking eggs.
Well, it looked like she was
because of
winning
her,
too.
you know, just she loved that. She had a good
Absolutely.
time. Look at her looking at her granny, side of her eyes.
A lot of egg pocking. That's fun. Did you win or did she win in that last picture?
Unfortunately, I won that time.
And wow. Y'all had a good time down there,
testing
huh?
him in his teeth. That's an old-time way to test it.
Look at that.
She's a
Photogenic.
little showman. She likes to be taking pictures taken
camera's
care
on.
of.
She knows.
4 years old. And
look at that.
Look at that. They put a pink hat on her head. Here she is eating. And that's a blue-eyed dog. Look at those
Y'all call him Blue?
Blue. And that's Sherry on the left, along with standing. Be Donna, and then of course Jenna, and then what they call Big Mom?
Big Grandma?
No, anyhow, that's Miss Marilyn, and that's Vicky and her brother Wade, and that's Sherry and her son Mason. And there's the picture right there. Good picture. Good. We had a real nice time, and we did something a little bit different. And that
we saw that one already right there. So we got through all our pictures. Look at that.
No, we didn't get the pictures of.
Oh, you got one more. That's right.
We'll have to get them next week because it's.
Okay.
Sorry, Roland and family. We'll get the pictures next week. This weekend, like every weekend, Matt and I ask you to consider attending the church of your choice. And we close with a little prayer. My God and my Lord, I believe in eternal life because you have promised it. Thanks for viewing. Tell a friend, and thank you, Matt.
Big Chief.